Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special Christmas edition of the Film is Okie Dokie. My name is CJ, and joined with me, as always, is my very good friend, my elf, you might say, Tommy.
I'm an alien who eats kittens.
That does not have the same ring to it, although, you know, Alf ate kittens.
Fuck! I misheard you.
How
you doing, CJ?
I'm all right. Yeah, well, Merry Christmas.
How do you know I celebrate?
Well, then all these years I've been sending you Christmas presents have been a lie.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna, I'll take a free Christmas gift.
All right, what holiday do you celebrate?
Shoot. Okay, let me think.
It's Christmas.
Boxing Day, strictly Boxing Day.
Strictly Boxing Day, I understand. This is our Christmas episode. You have not once said Merry Christmas, by the way. I've prompted you twice now.
Oh, you want me to wish you a Merry Christmas?
Wish the audience a Merry Christmas.
Oh, happy holidays, audience.
Oh, okay. Happy holidays, everybody. This is the holiday edition of the Film is Okie Dokie, not the Christmas edition. I see what I did there. Happy non-denominational winter solstice
We're gonna
day.
cancel you!
Okay, so I know Christmas, obviously, right?
I also know Christmas.
I know the lore behind Hanukkah.
Uh-huh.
And if it not for the Rugrats special, I wouldn't know anything about Kwanzaa.
Okay.
But, I think realistically, we're all just really celebrating Festivus.
Now, this is from Seinfeld, right?
Right. And I'm guessing from that you have not.
I've not fully watched Seinfeld, no. I've seen a bunch of episodes, but Festivus, this is like, what is it? It's like the Christmas tree is like a pole or some shit?
Yeah, it's a metal pole.
Okay.
Frank Costanza comes up with it after he fights somebody over a doll for George Costanza for Christmas when he's a kid.
Okay.
And there's the airing of the grievances, and then you have to wrestle each other.
Oh. So
Yeah.
are we going to celebrate this at GDQ in just like a month and a half or so?
Yeah, why not? The airing
Sweet.
of the
Okay.
grievances. I do that all the time.
Yeah. I mean, you've got many grievances to air.
All of them. Always. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Go ahead. I was going to say a grievance of mine is that you had not gotten to watching Killer Bean Forever yet. Is this still the case?
It still is the case, yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, like we said last time.
Until the end of December.
End of November.
End of November.
Yes.
And
don't try to buy yourself another month.
No, that's very fair. And so I'm trying not to shatter the illusion, Tommy. So I have some time remaining. But not a lot of time.
You have less than a week.
I have very little time left.
You got this. It's like a tight 90, if even.
It will happen. It will happen.
Okay. All right.
It will happen.
Okay. I hope so.
So, that having been said, how do you like to celebrate the holidays?
How do I like to celebrate the holidays?
Yeah, I'm hoping for a real answer, but I'm sure I'll have to endure at least a Tommy answer first.
So I have a lot of the way I celebrate the holidays is scrambling to hit up as many of my family's gatherings as possible. This year we have 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 4 Christmases just on my side alone. It might be more.
A lot.
Yeah. And, of course, celebrating with Jade's family as well. So it's truly every year just a mad dash of trying to celebrate everyone or celebrate with everyone. But also my dad's birthday is right after Christmas and mine is not too far after as well. So it's just madness and trying to coordinate everyone's schedule and just trying to catch my breath whenever we're not at a family holiday celebration? How about you, CJ?
There definitely was a time where that was what Christmas was. For me, it was going from like place to place to place to celebrate with everybody. And then a really cool thing happened where everybody started coming to us. And so it pivoted. So it's still a mad dash, but now everybody that wants to meet with me comes to me. So it's less chaotic, it's less hectic. For me. For everybody else, it's still the same. But no, Christmas, the holidays have become a lot more low-key for me. In more recent years, which is nice. The 24th is a Wednesday. The 25th is obviously Christmas Day. It's a Thursday, and then Boxing Day is a Friday.
Which is the thing that I celebrate.
Yes. And I'm off all 3 of those days.
Nice.
So, it'll be nice. I then have a crazy work week the week after that. So I have to work like 12-hour days because the week after that week, I go to GDQ, which adds a lot of hecticness to my schedule.
Oh yeah.
So like the week of New Year's, I am so busy. Don't even like try to talk to me. I'll be no, I just metaphorically. I'll be so busy that week. It'll be terrible. But otherwise, pretty good.
If you want me to talk to you, don't say don't talk to me.
I meant in general, like the royal you.
Okay.
Not you sitting here in front of me.
Oh.
Yeah. Why would you want me to be talking about you?
Well, I thought that, we were having a conversation, me and you, and now you're talking to someone who's not even in the room? What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
All right, so anyway, do you have any favorite movies you like to watch around the holidays?
I do. I have, of course, the Christmas classics like Elf, and last year watched Home Alone for the first time. Absolutely loved it. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation is another classic that I love. Iron Giant. I'm starting to get deja vu. I feel like we talked about this recently, but let's keep going.
We did.
Yeah. I think last episode we chatted about this briefly, but I think those are the ones that most easily jump to my mind. If you wanted to hit a few as well.
I like Home Alone. Home Alone's a good one. Elf is not required watching for me because now I'm remembering we talked about this. I don't like Will Ferrell that much.
Mm-hmm.
But Muppets Christmas Carol is always in there for me. I like the Christmas Charlie Brown special. All the Rankin Bass ones are fun. If a little hokey, so they get some good play.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of Rankin Bass, we talked a lot about what exactly we were going to be doing for this episode, and that goes in hand with what we were talking about doing for next episode, which last episode, our Megamind episode, we jotted down a bunch of notes of things to talk about this episode for what we were doing next episode. Do you remember this, CJ?
Yes.
So, for the viewers who are just tuning in for the first time now, next episode is our New Year's episode. So we were going to be making predictions next episode for what we would be watching on The Film is Okie Dokie in the year of 2026. And we weren't going to be making our guesses this week or next week. I guess next week for us when we're recording this episode, but rather next episode. So just to touch on a few things in keeping this conversation relevant, not something that we kick off into a crevasse of our mind only to reemerge when it's time to discuss on the New Year episode. But we talked about things like trying to guess what genre we would watch most in 26, or what specific films we might watch, or what directors we might watch most of, or the year the oldest movie, or the year the newest movie we watch. The average year of the movie. Of course, we had the stipulation that we can't make a guess and then just like freaking force it to happen, right? These have got to be of, what's the word, of good intent, of just on the up and up, all above the table, not trying to skew the results in our favor. So, CJ, have you had any pondering over the last week or so to think of maybe any other things that we might have to guess next episode? What might be some good predictions to make?
I think that it would be really, I'd love to have it so that people could guess specific films that we would watch, but not have us know somehow.
Like a sealed ballot until the end of next year almost.
Right, but I don't want it to be something that can be changed. You know?
Right.
Because I don't want someone to be like, oh, I guessed that you would watch Iron Giant, and have it be like, well, yeah, it's like, I don't want it to be an honor system thing. I want them to send like a sealed ballot, but I don't have a way to do that.
Now, I think that we would be able to potentially do this just through like Google responses or Google Sheets, whatever that Google Drive version of polls are, and just, have there be a tight not a tight deadline, but have there be a deadline. You can only submit once, and then we just don't look at them until the end of the year. I mean, I guess, is that going to be the format? Is everyone does submissions, and then we open our guesses at the end of next year? So this would just be our setup episode running through everything.
I think then it would be like interesting to read some of the guesses, but not the sealed one.
Okay.
Right.
And what would this? Okay.
Because like if someone said we were going to watch Pulp Fiction, it would just be just as easy for us to not pick that movie.
Right.
Or pick it on purpose.
Yeah. So I guess,
we could do it so like we create a new email and we just have that poll exist for that email address, and then we don't check that email for a year.
That'd be very easy. I mean, as is, we hardly have much use for the official Film is Okie Dokie Gmail. So we could always use that.
But that one then would be a part of the, I guess you could just have two polls and just not check the second poll. You know what I mean? And have it be on the Okie Dokie email.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And then just have the responses tied to email so that it's one per customer. I would love to see like people's guesses on where they think the podcast is going, and also where they want it to go. Like, it's not just a what you think we're going to do, it's a what you want us to do. Kind of, not like a survey, but like a wish list. I think I think I'm interested in hearing what people think.
My wish list is that we just watch the movie Michael Clayton every episode for all of 2026. It's like, I think it's just like a random George Clooney movie.
All right, we're going to watch Meet Joe Black every week.
Every week, breaking down all of the little Easter eggs we find on every rewatch. It's going to be huge.
Meet Joe Black every week of April.
Now, another thing that I thought of that, just now that might be a good thing to guess is how many of the movies we watch in 2026 will end up being Okie Dokie versus Noki Dokie, or like maybe how many unanimously Okie, how many unanimously Noki, how many split, something to that effect.
I think that'd be interesting. I think that'd be pretty interesting. We could definitely add that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested to hear what people have to say. Like, I've put more thought into movies that I've wanted to put on the podcast now. Sometimes this becomes like a week-to-week proposition for me. And I'm sure you put more thought into it because you just are a very thoughtful person. But sometimes I just come and I'm like, man, I'm down to like 5. And I've been at 5 since the last time that we talked. Maybe something here will give me some inspiration.
Down to like 5 movies to pick from,
Yeah.
is what you're saying? Oh, yeah, totally. I mean, usually it's like somewhere between like 1 and 3, but I often am choosing kind of in the moment.
Yeah. Like, I feel like if you just pick something like totally out of left field, it just feels weird.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, something like Meet the Feebles.
You know,
So, I'll dig us out of that hole. Another thing, also, I'll say, how about we check in the post show, maybe through this upcoming week over the holiday weekend. CJ, you and I do a little bit of work ourselves. Maybe we can message about it and cement into place what this New Year predictions thing is exactly going to look like. Is it going to be something that, like we said, people submit at the start of the year and then we see how people did at the end of the year? Are we going to know all the submissions and everything up front? We'll have that all sorted out by the post show. Sound like a plan?
Yeah. No, we will have everything sorted by the post show. If you're listening to this, it will all be in the Discord for you to use.
Yes. And then one other thing for us to just check in on real quick that we had jotted down is, of course, circling in on the Vulture Movie Fantasy League, checking in on the standings, because there's been quite a lot of movement in the past week, and I'm sure it will only devolve further into chaos in the coming weeks. So last time we checked in, Alex had a commanding lead, with him being in the around, I want to say 330 to 350 range. Second place being Ironhead at 260. But Alex has earned a handful more points because I believe Avatar Fire and Ash has already gotten a nomination at something. But then
at the
now
AARP Awards or something.
I think that's what Alex said. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. But now in second place is Jade with 337, earning a whopping number of points from Wicked for Good's premiere weekend. I am now in third place with 316. So first is Alex, 383, then Jade, 337, so about 45 behind. Then Tomato Anus at 316, so I'm about, 60, 70 behind. Then we have Ironhead at 260, and then Katse earning 260 points to leap to just behind Ironhead, from going from 0 points to 260. And Katse is someone to look out for because they have Zootopia 2 as well, which is opening this weekend and forecasted to also earn like $500 million like in the opening weekend. So I think we're going to have a new leader here real soon because Katse is the only one with both Wicked and Zootopia 2. Zootopia,
Wow.
sorry.
That's crazy.
Big movements. Big movements. CJ, how are you feeling? You have Zootopia 2. You don't have Wicked. How are you feeling right now, all things considered?
I made my bed with the strategy that I was going to win by getting awards.
Yes, which I think is a very solid strategy.
So I'm not expecting to be on top right now. I know that if I wanted to go for a box office strategy, the strategy was to pick Wicked and Zootopia and then fill the rest of it in with the budget picks. But, I didn't do that. So I think that I can win with my horses, and we'll just have to wait come award season.
Yes, we will. It's been very fun having this unfold before our very eyes, and I'm excited for award season soon because it's going to be a slurry of nominations, I'm sure, with all of these random ass, the AARP awards and all the other random ass awards ceremonies that are going to be earning us points. It's going to be crazy. Going to be pure chaos.
Yeah, no, it's going to be super chaos, super chaotic.
Oh, well, speaking of chaos, CJ, anything else for us to throw into the air for us to juggle in this pre-show?
Well, not that I'm aware of, but, we talked about it. This is our holiday episode, and we have for you a holiday movie. We have Scrooged.
Yes.
I've never seen this movie before.
Same here.
I have heard two people really recommend it, tell me it's great, and one person tell me they didn't like it.
Okay.
So, 6 and 1/2 dozen of the other. I'm interested to see how it is. I know absolutely nothing. One time, 10 years ago, I was in a room while it was on, and I watched it with the sound off for 10 minutes before they switched and put on A Christmas Story.
Doesn't bode well.
No. But the 10 minutes I did see, I have no real understanding or recollection of.
Okay.
If I see them, I'll be like, this is the 10 minutes.
The famous CJ's 10 minutes of Scrooged.
Yeah. But yeah. Do you have any other relationship with the material?
No, not really.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's Christmas Carol, so take that for what you will. But no, I genuinely don't think I've seen like any of this movie at all. So going in completely blind. The only thing I know about it really is that it stars Bill Murray. Which I think it's worth bringing up. I'm actually not a Bill Murray fan.
Wow.
So I'll be curious to see how I like this. Yeah.
You're not a Bill Murray fan.
No. I think that there are things
that you live in Chicago.
Yes, and are you a big Rudy Giuliani fan?
I don't see the connection. Also, you could have said
New York.
Donald Trump.
Hey, well, there you go. We could go with him. No, I just, Bill Murray. I mean, he's a big Chicago celebrity. He is not just a big Chicago celebrity, but a big Chicago Cubs celebrity, to the point where like he is the narrator for the Wrigley Field opening video. But I don't know. I've just never. There are things I like things with him in it. He's in a lot of Wes Anderson movies I really love. But I'm not sure I've ever really seen something that has won me over solely on the merit of Bill Murray.
Can you cut it for me like this?
Yeah.
Can you tell me a movie that Bill Murray's in that you don't like?
Movies I think in terms of don't like, there aren't really any that
you don't like Bill Murray. So what does
Right.
Bill Murray? What is Bill Murray in that you don't like?
It's less. There are ones where I'm like, I don't like I actively dislike, and it's more like I do not care. Like I do not care for Ghostbusters at all. Stripes, I'm not really a fan of. Groundhog Day as well, I think is okay.
Okay.
Osmosis Jones is good for the not Bill Murray parts. But like,
I really don't think of Osmosis Jones as a Bill Murray film, but I'm with you.
But like, I've seen other movies that he's in that I have liked. Zombieland, he plays himself. I enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
Space Jam, plays himself.
Yep.
I mean, it's a classic. Grand Budapest Hotel, he's in a little bit. Good movie. The big one of Wes Anderson's that he's in that I really love is Moonrise Kingdom. So I do like that one, and he's in it. But like, I've not seen Caddyshack. I don't know. It's not like there are many Bill Murray vehicles I have watched, and of the ones that I have watched, I don't know. He doesn't rub me the right way.
Okay. Rubs you the wrong way.
Yes, and like that extends to outside of his performances as well. Just when I've seen him in interviews or things in general, just not someone I've ever really liked.
Okay. the person who directed this film, just want to put this out there, he also directed Superman.
Oh, Richard Donner.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep, and Lethal Weapon and The Goonies.
Not seen Lethal Weapon. I have seen the other two, but it's been quite some time since I've seen either Superman or Goonies.
The Toy? The Toy is it's directed by Richard Donner. It stars Richard Pryor and Jackie Gleason.
No, I have not. And when you first said, "Have you ever seen The Toy?" I was gonna be like, I need a little bit more info here. I have no clue what toy we're talking about.
Oh, speaking of The Toy, do you still have the Vaporator?
Yeah, I do. I would need to look for it, but I do have it somewhere.
Okay. All right. Well, I think, well, here's the thing. Mama CJ and Dayman, friend of the show Dayman, have both told me that it's really, really funny. And one person told me they didn't care for it. But in that respect, Jade also told me she doesn't really like Christmas Carol stories.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see where I fall. I think that I might like it. It's so interesting.
I hope that we like it.
I didn't even know you didn't really care for Bill Murray before this. Before this exact minute, I'd never heard that.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever came up.
And you know what's so funny? I was just like, why is he talking about Bill Murray? When's that going to come up? And then I'm like, oh my God, he's in the movie we're watching right now. So, all right. Do you have any, what's your prediction?
My prediction? You know, I think the both of us are going to walk away saying this is an okie dokie movie. That is my prediction. Even though not a Bill Murray fan, I think I might end up enjoying it. I'm going in hopeful. Head held high.
Nice. And just to let you know what you rolled in the Google Docs drop table today, you are an anonymous buffalo.
Oh, you're an anonymous kiwi.
Oh, I don't like that as much.
I think kiwi is better. I think it, if anything, is more rare.
We'll have to check, but
yeah, check the drop table, of course.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening to the pre-show for the film is Okie Dokie. If you want to check out the commentary companion podcast for Scrooged, you can go ahead and pause the podcast right here in a second. Otherwise, just keep on listening, and we'll be right back. If you'd like to listen to the companion audio track, you can pause the podcast right now. That guy...
Did he drive onto the left side of the road to splash him?
Yeah, into the parking lane. Oh no, he left his humanitarian award in the car.
What? But he cares so much about being a humanitarian.
A red moon.
Oh no, the moon's on fire.
Hello, everybody. It's still the film is Okie Dokie. I'm still CJ. He's still Tommy. Yeah. It
would be fun for us to rebrand mid-episode one time.
Next time.
And then by the end, we're back to the film is Okie Dokie, baby.
Yeah.
So CJ.
We have a lot of business today.
Yes, we do.
We have a lot of business today. Is there any not business that we can attend to?
You had some trivia?
I do. This is part of business, though.
Oh, okay. All
right, so...
Well, yeah, I'll let you take the reins.
So, this is the back half of our Christmas episode, so Merry Christmas. Our holiday episode, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Festivus for the rest of us, Happy Kwanzaa, have a Merry Christmas. Does it bother you in British media when they say Happy Christmas? That doesn't even make sense to me.
Gonna be real? Don't consume enough British media to know that's a thing.
All right, well, fuck me then. Any Hoosers. So, okay, we got that. We talked about in the beginning of the episode that we were going to have all the information for you guys for the predictions. These are going to be secret ballots that'll be sealed and opened next year.
Yes, that is something we settled on. We were kind of waffling on the idea in the pre-show.
So Tommy has all the details for that here in a minute. But in the process of making the form, I said I would pull the data for 2025. So this is the last episode of 2025, right? Because the next episode comes out in 2026.
Correct.
Okay. So, now, that having been said, I have some trivia here for you.
Okay.
Okay. So, what was, do you believe, the average release year for the movies we watched this year? And just to frame this for the audience, starting with the Heathers episode, that was the first episode of 2025. I believe that came out on the 3rd of January.
Yes.
And ending with Scrooged. What was the average release year?
Okay, now, just thinking out loud, we covered a lot from the 2000s, but we do have a couple things thrown in that are really going to pull it back, a la The Searchers and The Quiet Man. So I'm going to go like 1988.
Okay. All right. So, that's interesting that you would say 1988. The average release year is 1997.
Whoa.
And I will say this, while you did factor in you did account for films like, Some Like It Hot, The Quiet Man, and The Searchers, all released in the 50s, you did not consider that we watched 4 movies released after 2020.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was in the math. Yeah, that's true. That is true. I guess I was thinking in that, because I was thinking like, oh, Young Frankenstein, Midnight Run, Birdcage, Heathers, those are all 80s, whatever.
Okay. So, next, right?
Yeah.
We watched 4 movies this year that all came out in the same year.
Oh.
So, actually, the average release year, what is the year that appears on this list the most? And I'm going to let your internal gears tick. I'm going to read this for the audience, okay? Heathers, Mean Girls, Wild Wild West, The Birdcage, Some Like It Hot, The Batman, Gladiator, V for Vendetta, The Searchers, Midnight Run, Coming to America, Tropic Thunder, The Big Lebowski, The Bike Riders, That's My Boy, Meet the Feebles, Young Frankenstein, The Lost World, The Quiet Man, The Rundown, Sinners, The Banshees of Inisherin, Glass Onion, A Knives Out Story, True Grit.
Excuse me, Knives Out Mystery.
Sorry, Knives Out Mystery. True Grit, Megamind, and Scrooged.
All right. My guess is 2022.
All right. So you think we watched 4 movies from 2022?
Yeah. I think if Batman, what were the other ones? Glass Onion, Banshees, and Bike Riders. Were they all 2022?
So, are you asking me?
Yeah, that's my guess.
So, you're close. We watched 3 movies from 2022 this year. It was the runner-up year.
Damn it.
The Bike Riders came out in 2024.
Fuck.
So, do you want to take a rebound guess?
I mean, Megamind and True Grit were both 2010, but I don't think we watched any others from 2010. 2000, no, 19, no, 18, 18, 19, 1988.
It is 1988.
Let's go.
We watched. Go ahead.
Midnight Run and Coming to America. That duology was movies that came out in 1988.
That is interesting. I also briefly just said Hey, funny you said 1988. So the four movies we watched in 1988 were Scrooged, Heathers, Midnight Run, and Coming to America.
Wow.
Yeah. So really interesting. Okay. 3 times this year, we picked movies back to back that came out in the same year. You already said one of them, Midnight Run into Coming to America.
Mm-hmm.
We did it twice, 2 other times.
Right. True Grit and Megamind, I know that.
Yep, okay, because that was very recent.
Yeah.
So that
and
is
also,
2 out of 3.
Yeah, and also part of that was, and it came out in 2010. And I think the other ones are Banshees and Glass Onion, right?
That is correct, yes. And
Nice.
we did Banshees, Glass Onion, True Grit, and Megamind in a row, which I thought was interesting.
That's cool. 2 release years between 4 films in a row.
What was the newest movie we watched?
Sinners. It's got to be Sinners.
It has to be Sinners. It is Sinners. It is the only movie we watched from this year. What is the oldest movie we watched?
Okay, so it's either going to be Some Like It Hot, The Searchers, or The Quiet Man. I don't remember the exact years of any of these, though. Okay. Some Like It Hot is the only one in black and white. So Part of me wants to say that, though I remember us discussing that the black and white in that was because of how ghoulish Jack Lemmon and Tony Curtis looked in their makeup. So I don't think that should be... I'm going to rule out Some Like It Hot. It's going to be Quiet Man or Searchers. One of them I feel like, for some reason, the year 1955 is sticking out in my head. Okay. I'm gonna go The Quiet Man.
Quiet Man is the answer. However, The Quiet Man came out in 1952. But that's okay. Oh. The year was not the question. And The Searchers came out in 1956, and Something Like It Hot came out in 1959. If you think I only knew that because I have the book in my hands, you are sorely mistaken.
You have Tominio's Ledger, of course.
I have CJ's Ledger, which is also my work notebook, which I just scrolled down some of these questions.
Wow, I'm going to report to your work that you're using office supplies for not office things.
Technically, I paid with my own money for this notebook, so I feel like...
Did they reimburse you?
No.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, well, no, it's fine.
Side note, I love any time anything work related for you comes up on the podcast and I make a joke like dogging someone or like bashing something. You're like, nope, we don't do that.
I mean, I'm saying we're good. We're good. All right. What was your least favorite movie that we watched this year? What movie was the least okie dokie?
The least okie dokie.
Or the most noki dokie? I don't know how you want to say that.
Me personally, not like saying ones that we were unanimous in.
Yeah, you personally, your one.
It's either Wild Wild West or That's My Boy. Probably it's a coin toss. I'm gonna go Wild Wild West.
Okay. What was my least favorite movie?
Oh no, wait. It's either Wild Wild West or Meet the Feebles. Because you despised both of them.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go with Meet the Feebles solely because Wild Wild West, you were able to look at the screen for the whole time, whereas Meet the Feebles, you weren't comfortable even watching it.
Right. I did not even enjoy watching that. So you're correct. It was Meet the Feebles.
Nice.
Okay. Now, if you have the Tominio Ledger pulled up, please don't look at it.
Okay.
But how many movies this year did we tie on? Where one of us said it was okie dokie and the other one said it was not okie dokie.
There was a split decision?
Yes, split decision.
Okay, so this is not including Scrooged, of course, because we don't have the results from that.
Right.
So it's going to be 25 films total that we watched about. Mm-hmm. And we're on a big... I'm just working out the math in my head. We're on a big unanimously yes streak right now, like 9 or 10 movies. And I'm gonna, in my head, I'm ballparking the number of unanimous yeses. It's gonna be like in the high teens. That's where I'm at. So unanimous no's, Wild Wild West for sure. Bike Riders for sure. Gosh, it's hard to remember all of the movies. That's My Boy for sure. So I'm gonna say we split on on 4 movies.
Okay. There were a split on 5 movies.
Damn it! I was so close.
We split on The Birdcage. I went for, you were against. We split on V for Vendetta. We split on Coming to America.
Right.
We split on Tropic Thunder.
That's messed up.
And we split on Meet the Feebles.
That's also messed up.
Okay. Now, how many movies were we unanimously against? You kind of did the math, but what is your final answer for that?
17. Wait, no, sorry. Universally against. I'm sorry, my head went
it's
to
fine.
Universally 4.
Unanimously 4. We'll make it that, okay?
17 unanimously for, 3 unanimously against.
That is correct.
Let's go!
Yes. So we were unanimously for 17 of them.
Sweet. I was between picking 16 and 17. I'm glad I went with my gut.
And you were correct. The 3 movies we were unanimously against on: Wild Wild West, The Bike Riders, presented at half speed, and That's My Boy.
Nice.
I will say, asterisk, that movie makes me piss my pants laughing.
Should we add an asterisk next to your no in Tominio's ledger for That's My Boy?
No, I think we're okay.
Okay.
All right. And then there is one last question. So this is for 2025.
Yeah.
Which one of us was the most pessimistic and which one of us was the most optimistic? So which person said yes the most and which person said no the most?
I don't even need to think about this one. I know you were saying no more than me.
This is true. I said no more than you. How many times did I say no more than you did?
Okay. Now I got to think. What were the ones that I said no to? Coming to America and Birdcage, I want to say. I don't think there were any other ones. I know that we've been saying a lot of them in conversation just now, and I'm sure maybe some are escaping me in the moment. But those are the 2 that come to my head immediately. So that's 2 for me where I was down on it and you weren't. You had Feebles, you had God damn it, I'm already blanking.
You know that there are 3 that we were unanimously against.
Oh, right. All right. So, and then there were 5 we were split on. So it's got to add up to 5. So you were against 1 more than me. You were against 3 that I said yes to, and I was against 2 that you said yes to.
Yes. I had 1 more no than you did.
Wow.
Which made your I know you said no more than I did kind of insulting because I said no 1 more time.
Yeah, no, I could just, the vibes were off.
It's funny. The really funny thing is I'm looking at the dates. So The Big Lebowski came out on the 20th of June, right?
Right.
We watched then in a row The Bike Riders, That's My Boy, and Meet the Feebles.
Man, you were down bad.
The only thing that saved me was that I really love That's My Boy. But I had
so
three
funny.
in a row. I didn't give another thumbs up until Young Frankenstein on August 15th. Fucking 2 months.
That's so funny.
Yeah, and like you said, we are on a hell of a run. We starting in August 15th, with Young Frankenstein. We are on a run of historic okie dokie. Young Frankenstein, The Lost World, The Quiet Man, The Rundown, Sinners, The Banshees of Inisherin, Glass Onion, True Grit, and Megamind. And
Man,
go ahead.
what a good stretch of films. Like,
I know.
we've been feasting.
So my last question is, if you could go back and change, we can't. Tominio's Ledger is written in solid ink.
Right.
It cannot be
gold,
altered.
Actually.
Once the episode ends, that is your chance, your only chance to revise, okay? It's written in gold. But in a hypothetical world where you could go back and change one vote, would you change any of your votes? What movie would you change? I do have an answer.
So
for me.
Only from 2025, not before, right?
Only in 2025, although I am curious if you have one from before then.
Because Armageddon is serious contender for me. Armageddon, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, man, that was a fun, dumbass film. And I think I might have changed that yes to a yes.
You might have changed that to a yes?
Yeah.
Is there one in 2025 to keep us on track?
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I think I might flip on Mean Girls.
Really?
Yeah, I think I might flip Mean Girls to a no. Going the other way, I think maybe I would flip The Birdcage. The Birdcage might be the closest I have to flipping aside, but other than that, yeah, I think I would probably flip Mean Girls from yes to no. How about yourself?
If I had to go back and undo one movie, I think I would give The Rundown a no.
Wow.
Yeah. Obviously,
so you're saying
can't.
You would retroactively destroy the streak we're on?
No, because it's written in permanent marker.
Of course. But were it written in a lesser metal, like, I don't know, copper, you would potentially flip it to ruin the streak?
Only in a hypothetical situation. I would not actually soil the sanctity of the vote.
Gotcha.
All right. So that is all I have for trivia. And if you liked these questions, boy, does Tommy have some good news for you.
Yeah, I do. So a lot of these questions CJ was asking are things that you can predict about the films we will be watching in 2026. That's right. You can predict, because we are going to be running another competition, another fun way for our little community to engage and, talk about the show some more. And it's funny that all of these competitions we're doing, they all kind of revolve around results being in the winter between this and Vulture Fantasy League and the Oscars. But going into 2026, we have created a ballot where it's a handful of questions. It's not horribly long. There's, probably 6-7 questions where you will fill out predictions along the lines of things CJ was talking about for the movies we will be watching. Now, there's a couple little caveats to this. In total, there will be 25 movies we cover in the year of 2026. You may notice, you may be thinking, wait, but there's 52 weeks in the year and we release every other week. Why isn't it 26? Well, we do have something planned, but you'll hear about that at a later date. The ballot for this is going to be available in the description of this episode right here. You can go fill it out now, but it will also be available in the description of our next episode, which is releasing in the new year. So for the predictions, it will not include that film featured in the next episode. The deadline to submit the ballot, I'm going to go through this up front and then we'll talk out a bit more as what's in the ballot. The deadline, the last day you can submit your ballot is January 29th, 2026. That is a day before our second episode of the new year. Now, by then, you may listen to the our first episode of the new year and hear the next time on thing and know what's going on, or what the next ensuing film is. But we got to honor code this. Please don't, do all that. Don't make predictions including that one. Try and fill it out before you listen and hear what that film is going to be. Also, just quick correction, that will be our second, the January 30th episode will be our second episode containing a film. It will be our third episode of the year, second episode containing a film. So, what are the questions? Well, first in the ballot, we're asking for your email. That is strictly so that you can be forwarded a copy of your answers. That way you just have them and you can look at them throughout the year and you don't have to be coming to us and asking, because the ballots are going to be sealed until the 2027 episode or the 2027 New Year's episode.
Mm-hmm.
They will be sealed. We will not be looking, and then we will be looking to see what everyone said at the start of 2027, and a winner will be crowned. You will also be asked what your name is on Discord, just so we know who everyone is.
Yes.
So, the first actual question is, what genre will be featured most in the 24 films of 2026? To run through them, the options are action-adventure, animation, comedy, drama, historical, horror, romance, satire, science fiction, thriller, western, and then there is an other option where you can fill in something that isn't listed if you think of something else.
Mm-hmm.
Next one is guess a specific film to be featured this year. Now, there is a caveat on this. If you are someone who, say, picks a film at all this year, i.e. CJ, myself, any potential guests who might be filling it out, or say we have some sort of reward where a viewer can pick a movie for CJ and myself to watch, you cannot put down a film that you will be choosing. That answer will be disqualified then. Similarly, another question is guess a specific director to be featured this year. Next is what year will the oldest film covered have come out in? Similarly, what year will the newest film covered have come out in? And then, like CJ's first trivia question, what will be the average year of release of all the covered films? Now, for this one, say, for example, the answer is like 19, like the way that we'll do this is we will add up all of the release years and divide by 24. And say we get like a decimal in there. Say we get like 1995.75. We're not going to round it. We're just going to take it as 1995 because 1995.75, well, that's pretty much like September of 1995, more or less, right? So you're not going to round that to 1996. It's still 1995. Next one is, of the 24 films to be covered, how many will be unanimously okie dokie? Next one is, how many will be unanimously nokie dokie? And last question, how many will there be a split vote on? So that is all of the questions in the ballot. Again, when you fill this out, which it's in this description and it will be in the description of the next episode, please go try and fill it out as soon as possible. Your ballot will then be sealed and you will not be able to change it, and you will not, or we will not be able to, we will not be viewing it at all until 2027. So go to the description now if you're listening, fill it out, get your predictions in, maybe send a message in the Discord server saying yes, you filled out your bracket and you're super pumped to find out in a year if you won.
Yeah. I'm really interested in what everyone predicts. And I'm interested if anyone has a specific prediction that comes true. Just on the topic of the unanimous for and against, and the ties. Just wanted to throw this out there. For 2025, again, we had 17 unanimous fours, 3 unanimously against, and 5 ties. I'm giving you all that information. That's free public information, so that you can make an educated guess on how we might break this year.
Right.
There's very limited data on 2024, but Tommy, could you tell them the 2024 numbers?
Yes. So in 2024, we covered 7 films. Of the 7, 4 of them we were unanimously okie dokie, 2 of them unanimously noki dokie, and 1 split.
Okay. So now you have all of the information on how we have done in the past. You don't have to go looking it up, and everybody has it.
Yes. The only thing we're unable to provide information on is the genres, the genre breakdown, and what the most popular genre is. Because moving forward, not counting this episode, but, maybe starting with our next one, maybe we could do it today as well, just as practice. We have added to our typical show notes document a spot where we will determine what genre or genres any given film is, so that we have it set in stone and we have it figured out, the two of us that are in agreement, and it's like locked in for the count for the end of the year. So moving forward, that will be part of the show near the end is, okay, so what genre is this, just to lock it in for the year, end of year thing.
I would like to correct you on one thing.
Sure.
We actually do have a list of all of the genres for 2025.
Whoa, sweet. Well, why wasn't that part of the trivia?
I just did it now.
Nice.
So we watched 25 qualifying movies, 25 qualifying movies in 2025. Do you want to guess what the most popular genre is?
Ooh.
Using the genres that you provided a minute ago.
Yeah. See, it's tough because, I think about it, and early on, I feel like we had a fair bit of comedies, especially the middle of the year. I think we had a really solid stretch of things that could be considered comedy. But we watched a lot of things that I think count as action. I think ultimately, I am going to settle on comedy.
Okay. So I wrote down every single category that it fit in your list, okay, in our list for the genre, because obviously we didn't have a chance to debate these.
Of course, this is by the executive decision of CJ.
This is 17 comedies.
Whoa!
We watched 17 movies that have comedy in their genre. Heathers, satire, black comedy. Mean Girls was listed as a teen comedy. Wild West was listed as a comedy western. The Birdcage was listed as a comedy. Some Like It Hot was listed as a crime comedy.
Okay,
Midnight
sure.
Run is a action comedy. Coming to America is a comedy. Tropic Thunder is listed as a comedy. Big Lebowski is a crime comedy. Again, I don't That's My Boy comedy. Feebles, a puppet comedy musical. Young Frankenstein was a comedy horror film.
Okay.
I know, horror. The Quiet Man was listed as a rom-com drama.
Sure. Whatever you say.
Yeah. That's why we have to nail the genre down for the people.
Exactly.
The Rundown action comedy. Banshees of Inisherin was a black tragic comedy.
Okay.
And then Megamind, animated superhero comedy, and Scrooge listed as a Christmas fantasy black comedy. So,
all right.
I think we would all agree that those movies have comedic elements. I don't think that we're debating that any of those movies are not comedies, but the sub-genreization is kind of silly. So that's why we're going to officially determine after the end of each episode what genre is it. And that will be the official genre going forward. So
Sweet.
you don't have to argue later.
Right.
What genre was insert movie here. All right. Well, I think that we covered all the bases there. Like I said, a lot of business to take care of.
Yeah. So why don't we hop into this Christmas black comedy in Scrooged?
Christmas fantasy black comedy.
Oh, sorry. Christmas fantasy black comedy.
Okay. Yeah, so we will go ahead and run through the synopsis here, but really quick. Tommy, what did you think of Scrooged?
Oh, so it's the Christmas Carol, right? It's that is the backbone we're working off of. The thing that I really liked most about this was kind of the 80s-ism of it, with all of the practical effects and the all of the makeup. Some of the performances are really big, which is really fun. I did struggle a lot with Bill Murray though, and some certain decisions behind certain characters that I think is really unfair to the characters narratively and in just treating them as characters and not just plot devices. So, I'm a bit on it, but there are things I really like about it. So, I don't know, kind of middle of the road. I think, like many of the episodes, gonna be finding how I really felt about this as we progress. But how about you?
I don't have the same problem with Bill Murray that you do, so I didn't get hung up there. But sometimes it feels like characters were just stapled into the story. And I like that word stapled. Like, I know that he has a realization at the end, and we'll get there. But he some of them who have there are some good performances in here.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest feels like a loose association to the material.
Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it.
So, fortunately for us, we're not grading it on its quality as a derivative of Charles Dickens, but whether or not it's okie dokie. I will say my overall review is, at times it's too harsh, and other times it's too mushy.
Okay.
And I think that you get some of that with Christmas Carol, but you don't have to. At the end of the day, you're trying to make someone who's a bad person feel bad about themselves and want to change. So you do need some of that, but anyway. Okay, let's go through the story of A Christmas Carol. I mean, Scrooged. So I'm going to run you through the main players. Bill Murray plays Frank Cross. Frank is the youngest executive at a television station. He is the youngest executive to ever be the president of a television station. He works for IBC Television. Okay. Karen Allen is Claire. Okay, Claire is his girlfriend from 15 years ago. You have God. There's Bryce Cummings, the guy John Glover plays Bryce Cummings, who comes in. He's kind of like a random guy trying to take his job. You have the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future. The Ghost of Christmas Future is just, the Grim Reaper. There's really no performance there. Carol Kane plays the Ghost of Christmas Present, and she's awesome.
Electric.
And then David, I think it's Johansson, played the role of the Ghost of Christmas Past. And then there is his assistant. I don't know how to say her name.
We called her regular size Tim.
Alfred Woodard. She was Grace, his assistant. And then there was Bobcat Goldthwait as Elliot Loudermilk. Okay. By the way, we all know the basic tenets, right? We all know the basic tenets of what A Christmas Carol is. Yeah. So we're gonna go through some of this, and we're not gonna really talk about the core structure of A Christmas Carol, okay? Like, I'm just gonna assume everyone knows the story of A Christmas Carol, the basic plot structure. We're gonna talk about, in the plot recap, the Scrooged versions of it, okay? Okay. It's not the night before Christmas, it's 2 days before Christmas. Frank Cross, Bill Murray, like I said, president of IBC, and they are going to do an over-the-top live broadcast of A Christmas Carol.
Yeah, it took us about half the movie to figure out that it was a live broadcast.
Yeah, because it opens up with them doing like commercials and ad spots, right? Like trying to get this nailed down, and it's a big deal. Robert Mitchum plays the owner of the television station, I think, and that's his boss. And so Robert Mitchum's like, "Hey, you gotta make sure this goes well, kid." Right? Like always talking about like it's a big deal. He is an asshole to everybody in the meeting with him. He wants to literally make this so loud and over the top that it's impossible to ignore it, right? Like he wants it to be in your face, not really. Like imagine what a film spot like for a television presentation of a live broadcast would be in 1988 on television. Okay, then he wants like sex, violence, and rock and roll. So he's like, I want that spot running every 30 seconds. He actually made his own spot. And then someone stands up to him, Elliot, played by Bobcat Goldthwait. If you don't know who Bobcat Goldthwait is, but I guarantee you would know his voice, he plays one of the little imps in Hercules.
Yeah.
He gotta talk like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he fires Elliot basically like, "Oh, you stood up to me. That's great." And then he has his assistant Grace basically like, have security escort him from the building. 2 days before Christmas. So Elliot's gone. Frank goes around town. He basically his boss puts so much pressure on him that he is now like, "Oh, okay, we're working late." Grace is like, "I can't work late. I gotta take my kid to the doctor." He's like, "We're working late. I can't work late unless you work late. And if you don't work late, then I can't work late and I have to work late. I'm going to go to this humanitarian award. I'll be right back." He gets it a humanitarian award, leaves it in the cab, comes back. Grace isn't there. And he meets his former mentor, Lou Hayward. This is the Marley version.
Marley
right?
and Marley.
Ooh. Okay.
Ooh.
Lou Hayward is like, "Dude, I was an asshole in life, and you are going to regret not performing good deeds. Like, he died on the golf course, and he's, like, covered in sand. He's got a golf ball in the back of his skull. It's a whole thing. And then Frank is, like, scared shitless, and he holds him out of a window, like, over his office, like, from his C-suite. And he's just like, all right, that's it. He wakes up, and he's like, oh, okay. His phone dials Claire, his ex-girlfriend from 15 years ago. It auto-dials her. And then he's like, hey, it's been 15 years. And he kind of is like in a panic. And he, now he knows there's going to be a ghost that meets him at noon the next day. So he goes to lunch with him, his boss, Robert Mitchum, and Bryce, the guy who's gunning for his job. And at mid-noon, he starts going crazy. He's like a waiter on fire. Like, he just starts hallucinating, basically. No one else sees anything. He runs out of the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And at that meeting, he was like, Frank, I was worried that it was too much pressure for you, so I'm bringing Bryce in to help finish the job. So, and like, this production, by the way, has like rapping and ballet and jazz tap, and like, it has a live narrator, but also like, it's all over the place. It is like it is the most TV special thing that you could imagine. For people that used to watch TV specials. So then, the next day, right? So it's Christmas Eve, he runs out of lunch, he gets in a cab, and that is the ghost of Christmas Past, who is a smoking taxi driver. Okay? And so he's like, where are you taking me? Not where. When? Takes him back to when he was a kid on Christmas, and Frank is like sitting like in front of the television, like couldn't put his hand between his nose and the television. He's sitting like with his face pressed up against the glass, changing the channels. And his father is like kind of an asshole. And he's like, look, I got you 4 pounds of veal. And like their house isn't decorated. And he like is very callous. And he's like, you can get presents when he gets a job. This is tomorrow's dinner. And Bill Murray's like doing his best, like to just be like his like kind of like indifferent, like witty self, but like he leaves there crying, and he just is like, okay, whatever, like I can't. We're moving on. They go to 1968, so 13 years in the future, and a same-aged Bill Murray, who's supposed to be younger,
he's supposed to be 17 years old.
Yeah, he's working at the office during the Christmas party. Like he's like sorting mail, and he goes out, and he bumps into a door opened by Claire. Claire hits him in the head with the door. She starts calling him Bumpy,
Lumpy.
And then a few years later, they're like celebrating Christmas together, and he doesn't know the traditions, and he wants to open his gifts, and he gets her a nice gift, and then she gets him the Kama Sutra. And then
which was pretty funny.
Yeah. A few years after that, he's working on TV. He works as like something the dog. He works as a man in a dog suit for television.
Mm-hmm.
And he is like really selfish. He's kind of an asshole. He pushes her away. And she's like, hey, we should take a break. And he's like, okay, I'll see you later. And they basically break up.
Mm-hmm.
And Claire actually had come to the office before that. And he basically couldn't get out of his own way to like give her the time of day. She gave him his card. He goes to visit her. And she's running a homeless shelter. And he like is like so in his own feelings. He's like, nobody could be nice. No one can be altruistic. Like this is probably like some like sweatshop. And then he's like trying to get her to leave, but there's like she's like, I have 2 things to do, and he's like, he can't quit being an asshole long enough for her to like be like, I'm gonna make a phone call and I'm gonna show her where we keep the bags. Basic, like really, it was something that small. And he leaves there and he's like, you need to prioritize yourself over others. Like, this is your problem. And he also meets a bunch of homeless people, including a man named Herman. Then he goes and he meets the ghost of Christmas Present on the set. So he goes back to the set. Bryce is like still like taking over his job. Also, there's this running gag where the censor just keeps getting the shit beat out of her. Like, she got hit with like a bowling ball, I think, one time. She like got hit by some scenery. Like, she's like, by the end of the movie, she's like black and blue in casts. Like, she's just laid the fuck out. And then Carol Kane shows up. She's like a fairy who shows up, and she has a very high-pitched voice, and she kind of talks like this. And she's like very happy, and she's just beating the crap out of Bill Murray.
Very intense.
Very intense. She takes him to Grace's apartment. We learned earlier that Calvin, her youngest son, can't talk. He saw his father die, and ever since he has been mute. And then she sees like, oh, grandma and her 4 or 5 kids live in this little tiny apartment. And Carol Kane like knocks him around, being like, you should have given her a raise. And he's like, yeah, maybe. And then he's like, yeah, I'm overdue. She's like, yeah, she deserves a raise, a big raise. Goes to the brother's house, and then finds out that, they don't like him. But also Grace gave him a VCR instead of the towel that he ordered everybody to receive. And then James, even though everyone's like, why the fuck would you want Frank here? Is like, hey, he's my brother. I still love him, you know? And so he gets all sad and weepy. And then the ghost leaves out of nowhere. And leaves him in a utility space under the sidewalk. Where he wakes up next to Herman, who has frozen to death. So then he does everything to escape except trying to go through the door. He goes through the door.
Yeah. The door that's right behind him the entire time. Where we were like, use the door. He's like, there's no way out of here. Oh,
like, where do I go? Where do I go? Oh, the door. And by the way, the door's in frame the whole time he's doing this. So he goes back. He's teleported back to the set. And he like goes in the elevator. He's like trying to get away. And then there's death is in the elevator. And it's like, oh my God, And Bryce is like, okay, quit it. Because remember, they're putting on a Christmas Carol production on TV. So that was just an actor. Right? So he goes back up to his office. He gets a drink. And the show's live. They're doing the show live. And he's just like, whatever. And Bobcat Goldthwait shows up with a shotgun. By the way, he's been trying to get drunk. He couldn't. Like, he lost his wallet. He lost everything. His wife left him. He has had a rough 2 days.
Straight up.
Not even a rough 24 hours.
Yeah. He is straight up Rickety Cricket in this movie. If you're familiar with It's Always Sunny, that's a character who early on is like a dude that they grew up with who's like on the track to become a priest. He's on the straight and narrow. And then they just derail his life. And over the time of the show, he just becomes this feral being of a human. And that is exactly the trajectory that Bobcat Goldthwait was on with this. Like CJ said, within 24 hours, this dude is off the deep end.
Yeah, he shows up ready to shoot Bill Murray dead with a double barrel. One time he had 3 bullets, but otherwise they were pretty good on the bullet count. And then Bill Murray crawls his way into an elevator where he meets the actual ghost of Christmas Future, who is the Grim Reaper with a television for a face and a bunch of weird humanoid demon babies in his ribcage. So he now gets to see what's going to happen to everybody. He goes with the ghost. The ghost takes him to Calvin being institutionalized. And Claire, who has taken Frank's advice, is now a vain and selfish socialite. And then Frank is shown his own cremation ceremony, which he originally thinks is for his brother until his brother shows up with his wife. And it turns out that it's Frank in the coffin, literally and figuratively, because then Frank is teleported in the coffin as it's burned into cinders, where he then shows up back in the elevator at the end of Elliot's gun. So now he is fully transformed. He has been shown the error of his ways. He rehires Elliot with a pay increase. Now Elliot's like, well, you're crazy. That's kind of crazy to hire me back.
That's actually a really solid impression of how he delivered his lines.
Yeah. And so then, what do? They're going to take over the set. Elliot goes down with the shotgun, takes over the control room, and ties up Bryce. And they interrupt the live broadcast, like at the end of Christmas Carol, where Frank goes on TV and is like, hey, listen, it's never too late to change. He apologizes to Grace. He apologizes to James. He tells him the answer to a trivia question that Frank technically wasn't there to witness, which freaks everybody out. And then Claire is like, oh, he's lumpy again. Leaves the homeless shelter, and the ghost of Christmas Past drives her to the station, where he apparently went on for a long time. And then, because she had enough time to get across Midtown on Christmas Eve. And then Calvin, who is Grace's son in the mute, goes, God bless us, everyone. And then the whole crew sing Put a Little Love in Your Heart, as the ghosts of Christmas Past, Future, and Present, Lou, and Herman look on. So that is the movie. And I tried to keep that as brisk as possible because,
you did a good job.
Like I said, we all know the story of A Christmas Carol.
Yeah. I just want to reiterate and hammer home his diatribe, I think is the right word for this rant he goes on live TV at the end of the special. This thing goes on for so long. I think in the moment I was saying, like, if this happened in real life, this would go down in TV history.
Oh, yeah.
Just like all-time great, like, not speaking from like a film perspective, but just like if this were real, this would have like 12 million views on YouTube, and it was uploaded in like 06 in like 480p. He just keeps going and going and going, and like he's almost like a little dog in how like different things catch his attention and he just rants about them, and he's walking around everywhere. It was just a wild crash out, but kind of the opposite of a crash out in that like he's now kind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, to put this in context, the times where live TV was actually hijacked, like Max Headroom, right? Or like some of the more infrequent or shorter ones, they're not long.
Mm-mm.
Like they're like he was on the air for like 40 minutes. They went over their block. They were at the part of the show where Scrooge sends the boy to get the turkey.
Yeah.
Like, and then he took that and was like, all right, I'm going to use all of our time and fuck the sponsors. Like, fuck the commercials. Fuck what's ever on next. I'm on.
Yeah. So, in the perspective of how it makes up the body of this film, the credits start rolling at around an hour 35. The last like 10, 11 minutes of this movie are his taking over of the broadcast.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had said before that we started that I had watched 10 minutes of this movie with the sound off, and I didn't know what I was watching. I was watching him on stage doing that. And I'm like, what the fuck am I watching?
Wow, so you had the movie spoiled for you? What?
Yeah, with the sound off, it really spoils a lot.
Oh, that's funny.
So,
gosh.
No, it's so okay. Uh, man, I don't know where. I don't know how much I have for Scrooged. I'm now looking at your notes, but uh, I guess what I was saying stands. He is harsh in a way that, like, Scrooge was greedy and selfish, right? But this guy's just an asshole. And, you know, you're like, when you're in these scenes, I think that the classical depiction of Ebenezer Scrooge is more of a gradient. Like, by the time that he's done with Ghost of Christmas Present, he's already there, right? A lot of time. He's already there. And he just needs that final shove.
Yeah.
Of like, if you don't, you'll die alone, and everyone will hate you, and nobody will miss you.
Yeah.
And just that, like, last push is what gets him over the edge.
Yeah.
Bill Murray's an asshole in every scene. When he sees Calvin in the institution, he's like, I know the head of pediatrics at New York Presbyterian, it's good. You know, like, it in that way, the Bill Murray character archetype doesn't fit. Because he only actually demonstrates remorse when he sees that he's gonna die. You know?
Yeah. Which, yeah, we were kind of laughing about it in the moment for the Ghost of Christmas Future. Like, it really does play as though, because, you know, it's I feel like typically in the Christmas Carol, when, like you said, the Ghost of Christmas Future is that final push, and it's typically like, wow, I am going to end up dead, alone, no one visiting my grave. People will be much worse off because of the impact I had on them. But in this, it really just plays as he realizes he's going to die one day and he doesn't want to die. Like, it's almost as if he feels as though he will live forever. And he's like, oh, but if I'm mean, I won't live forever. That's kind of how it came across in the moment to me.
Yeah, it doesn't it doesn't play well, I don't think. You know? I don't think it plays the way that it could, I guess. Good?
Yeah. So I guess let's talk about the whole Bill Murray of it all. You know, and Frank Cross. You already went in a fair bit about it. Yeah, he's straight up asshole like the whole time. And Bill Murray I did a little bit of reading into the behind the scenes, not too much, but he was quoted saying that it was really fun playing Frank Cross because he got to be, quote, the meanest person in the world. But and this isn't like me projecting my dislike for Bill Murray onto the film. No. But like, this is not a criticism of the film here, me saying this. This is just me making a joke and talking about Bill Murray in general. Like John Wayne with hating, being racist or whatever, and John Ford being like, that's the thing, he's not acting. Was Bill Murray really acting here, or was he just getting a chance to indulge in all of his true impulses?
By the way, I wish John Ford had said that. That was a quote from the Trumbo movie.
Damn it.
I know. That would have been really funny if John Ford said that. Listen. I don't have these preconceived things I don't like about Bill Murray, like, already ready to go. I think I had known that he had a few interactions with people that didn't go well or made people uncomfortable, but I didn't have like Bill Murray's an asshole loaded until you were like, isn't Bill Murray an asshole in the pre-show? So yeah. I'm not going to make the comment that he's not acting because you only told me a week ago that he's an asshole.
Yeah.
And so I do think some of your I don't like Bill Murray is bleeding in. I just think that it's a little on the nose, but
I will say I am like I am fairly good at separating my feelings about an actor in real life from their performances, but just
Which
talking
brings
about
us to the question: is he acting?
yeah, that was more the joke. But for Frank Cross, like, yeah, he's insufferable, and not really in a fun way, like I think that's the thing about Bill Murray often is like a lot of his humor is rooted in like is rooted in those dark impulses and the humor in like ha ha ha, he's so bad it's funny because no one would really be that bad, and that's a lot of his movies, right? He's an asshole, that's the comedy of it. But I feel like Frank Cross as a character, it's just mean-spirited at times, where like at one point they show a dead old woman on a newspaper and someone's like, do you know who this is? And immediately he's like, ooh, who's that? She's pretty. It's like, that's supposed to be funny? Or like he walks up to a dancer and holds a mistletoe over her and starts kissing her. It's like, which I understand it's the 80s, so that type of stuff had a lot more play as comedic as opposed to in 2025, someone walking up to someone and kissing them, we're gonna be like, whoa, calm the fuck down, you just sexually assaulted them, right? But like he's Frank Cross, like you said, he's just so consistently almost evil the whole time up until he's like, oh, I'm gonna die.
I think that in terms of like Bill Murray characters, there was a lot more character growth and development in like Groundhog Day.
Yeah, definitely.
Like his character does genuinely shift, and we see it.
Yes, and it's like you said,
trying
kind
to
of
keep
with the
that
Scrooge.
one guy alive.
Yeah. It's there is an actual story being told there of his character development, whereas with this, it's a switch being flipped.
And I think that it leans a lot on everyone knows A Christmas Carol, so we're just going to do Christmas Carol with Bill Murray, which really is what this movie is. It is Christmas Carol with Bill Murray. I feel like there's a couple things we can adjacent to this that we can knock out. You had said Tropic Thunder in the beginning of the movie, with the commercials,
the opening commercials,
which I did think was pretty funny. I also love the older TV aesthetic, which it wasn't going for a retro TV aesthetic. Obviously, at the time, it was going for a modern aesthetic, but it aged. I think that segment aged really well. Because the only thing that didn't age well was the television. And like the fact that he's a TV executive is the only thing that didn't age well. Because nobody watches TV. So like I thought that was really funny.
The opening few minutes, the first 5 minutes of those commercials and whatnot, really strong opening, really fun. I wanted to ask, just kind of joking, like, what movie do you think did this cold open of commercials better, Tropic Thunder or this?
I like this version better, but I mean, I don't know who did it better personally. I don't know that I have an opinion to that end, but I like this implementation of it better.
Okay. It is kind of weird how in the opening, like, it's like Santa's gotta fight or whatever.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
There's all of the elves in his workshop. There's just one random elf who's a goth woman, like out of nowhere. Like, what? How does she fit into this?
I was into it. I was all for it. No, that was really funny. That was a really funny sequence.
Yeah, it's a good cold open. It's a good. Part of me, the thing that I wish that it had more similar to Tropic Thunder is I wish it was a little bit longer. I wish we had gotten another little teaser or two in that stretch, because I do think this is one of the stronger parts of the movie. Not to say it peaked right away. It's a really good moment, and I was like, I wish we had more of that aspect. It would be fun to see more of the programming they were doing.
Talking about like what are the really strong aspects of this movie. There are some great performances. Like we talked about Bill Murray is Bill Murray just being Bill Murray? to the extent, I think he is playing the Bill Murray template. And maybe that's what Bill Murray can give you. And in a lot of cases, like Bill Murray, I don't know if you knew this, but the marketing for this movie was Bill Murray's talking to ghosts again, because this was after Ghostbusters had come out.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And so, like, maybe you're just like, okay, what if we did Ghostbusters? Well, we took that character and put him in this. You know, I don't know the specifics of it, and I want to emphasize, like, I laughed a few times during this movie. I thought there were parts that were really funny. I also thought there were parts that were funny, but not for the reason that they wanted me to think it was funny. Bob, for 4 performances, the minute I heard Bobcat Goldthwait, I was like, "Oh Jesus Christ!" I knew he was in it, but I was like, "Yep, there's that voice."
Mm-hmm.
Like, some people just have like it's like Gilbert Gottfried. It's not like his voice, but what I'm saying that is like someone who has such a distinct sound that it really doesn't matter how good at acting they are. Like, I don't know how good of a role Elliot is, but it's that guy with that voice. If he had a regular voice, it wouldn't be that funny. Like, it's the fact that he's talking like this. Like, he's just all up and down and all over the place. And he's in such a little bit of the movie.
Mm-hmm. And I think that, you know, that's kind of at least for me, a central theme to the performances that really stand out in this. The 3 that I noted are Bobcat Goldthwait as, you know, whatever the Rickety Cricket character.
Elliot Loudermilk.
Yeah, that guy. Powdermilk. David Johansen as the Ghost of Christmas Past. Great energy in the role. And Carol Kane, great energy as the Ghost of Christmas Present. They all played really well. And you know, I don't know if I don't know. I think it's maybe just because of how much they stand out in contrast to Bill Murray's performance. Cause it's, you know, it's not like Bill Murray is like giving this phoned in performance where he's not emotive. It's not like he's doing that. Like, he's freaking out at times and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I have a hard time thinking of any moments where I was like, wow, Bill Murray was really great in that scene as an actor. He really emoted something. He really made me feel something with his performance. Whereas each of those 3 that I noted, and if there's any other people in this film who you felt had a strong performance, feel free to shout them out. But like, whenever those 3 were on screen, I was like, the fuck are they going to do? Because it's not just that their characters are a bit unpredictable. The performances are unpredictable in a really fun and engaging way. Yeah. Like, I almost kind of want to hang out with each of them in a, maybe not like at my own place where they're going to destroy all of my shit. Cause you know, all 3 of these characters, if you let them loose in your humble abode, something's getting broken. Right.
Yeah.
But they brought the energy this film really needed. And it would have been nice if we just had a bit more, I don't know, just a bit of a better performance to match them. Right. But Bobcat Goldthwait, especially when he's running around with the shotgun at the end, just chef's kiss, man.
Yeah, that was really fun. My favorite performance in the whole movie is Carol Kane. She
was so good.
So good. And just
she was so good.
Giving him the business.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh my God. She just stubborn and beating the shit out of him and going from, you know, I can't do the voice like you could, but going from that like soft-spoken, sweet, but still like kind of manic energy to cranking up the dial and being just flying off the hinges at, you know, a moment's notice. Really great range. And also really great physicality. Like, there's the practical effects of this all I loved, and I want to kind of point out some other spots later, but like, there's one point where she's flying at him, and rather than, you know, them just have her kind of fly and glide through the air, she's like sprinting, flailing in the air, with her legs as she's approaching him. And it's just like, it just helps fill in the corners of these characters. It's like, yeah, we know the Ghost of the Christmas Present, but it does a good job of making them unique and giving this movie a sense of identity that, frankly, every Christmas Carol needs. It needs something that differentiates it from the other adaptations. Because if they're all the same, then why are we doing it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she was just so great, so funny. When she first started, I'm not really familiar with Carol Kane. I'm sure I've seen her in things, but she's not really someone who I recognize or I'm familiar with the type of performances and roles she takes or did or does. But as it went on, I'm just like, oh my God, she's awesome. She's like, it's almost like this movie left me like needing to like gasp for air at times. Like I just need something really cool. And Bobcat Goldthwait, Carol Kane, and David Johansen, each of them, just those sections of the movies, I'm like, yes, this is what it needs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then David Johansen, I did want to talk about him too. Never seen him in anything. I did look him up. He is like mostly a musician. That's what most of his career was, which makes sense. He has Steven Tyler mouth. I thought that he just, again, great energy. I loved how he was almost sadistic with it all. Like he took so much pleasure. He derived so much pleasure from Bill Murray. All of the memories and like just Bill Murray getting flustered at times or like bad stuff happening to him. His cab itself it's like the cash cab, but Christmas, which was just a fun detail. Yeah, really, really fun. Very striking visually as well. The visuals throughout this movie were really good. Yeah, just kind of what I said before, that brought the energy it needed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is not the first Christmas Carol adaptation that we've seen.
Right.
And I will say this. When you and I watched that first one, I told you that was the definitive Christmas Carol adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
That Muppets Christmas Carol is the best version of Christmas Carol. I stand by that. It has the balance this movie doesn't, where like you need the joy and the silly of everybody else, right? You need that for this to work. But you have some of that, but it doesn't have that Muppets silliness to it. And the counterweight for the other side is that Michael Caine is brilliant as Scrooge. He's just fucking brilliant. And, I don't need to repeat myself, but I guess since it was so long ago, he said that he was only going to play, like he was not doing it with puppets, but like he was doing it with actors of the Royal Shakespeare Company. Like, and he did. And it works. Whereas this doesn't feel like it works on that same level.
No.
Yeah, there are elements of this that I think work really, really well, and there are other parts where I'm just like, it feels, I'll say, out of balance, right? There's a teeter but no totter. On the other side of Bill Murray, there's not enough. And then sometimes it feels like there's too much. Like, part of the Scrooge thing is he makes everything right with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he did that at all. He made it right to Bobcat Goldthwait, but think about all the other people. Like, he should have given Grace a raise, and maybe he does. Maybe his gift is that he got her son to talk. But like, okay, what about everybody else? What about Claire? Like, Claire...
Yeah, I want to talk about, but that's going to be a whole subject.
We're going to parlay into Claire, but how do you feel about Muppets Christmas Carol?
I think you put it really well. It's I think that when you put these two side by side, it points out the holes in this one, or it just makes the flaws of this one so much more apparent, right? Like if I caught Scrooged on TV and I flipped it on, I'm sure I would recognize it instantly as a Christmas movie, but I'm not sure that it would draw me in the same way Muppets Christmas Carol does. Muppets Christmas Carol is just, is it a perfect movie? No, but is it a perfect adaptation of Christmas Carol? Like you said, it might just be. And everything throughout is just so even in its execution and dedication to the storytelling and, balancing the emotion of it all and the comedy, where this just feels kind of all in on one thing at any given moment. It feels really uneven. And I think, I do want to talk about how this works as a Christmas film. And just to kind of, I guess, to answer that, I'm not sure how well this works as a Christmas film in Scrooged. Whereas Muppets Christmas Carol, like, that's a Christmas movie through and through from start to finish. Scrooged definitely feels like it has, it definitely is a Christmas movie, but there are large swaths of this where I'm like, it's a Bill Murray vehicle. It doesn't feel quite like a Christmas movie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, how do I feel? It's a good question.
Yeah, how do you feel this functions as a Christmas film? And then we can pivot into Claire/Karen Allen.
It doesn't feel like it has enough trappings of Christmas. I feel like it's missing some of the... Yeah, I feel like it's missing some je ne sais quoi. I don't know. It doesn't feel like everybody's enraptured in the Christmas spirit.
Yes, 100%.
It like, part of Scrooge is everybody is in the Christmas spirit except Scrooge, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's that to play off of. But, like, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I would say it doesn't feel too much like a Christmas movie. I could say that. Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right. So let's address what I personally feel to be the elephant in the room, which is Claire. So, CJ, how do you feel about Claire/Karen Allen in this?
Okay. I want to be real with the people. And this is hard for me to say. But is she the most desperate person in the world?
Yes. She
held on to this for 15 years?
I think it's 17.
Like, it doesn't play off at all that it was just a coincidence. She showed up at his job. You know how fucking weird that would be if your ex from 15 years ago... What would you do if your ex from high school, for you, or middle school, showed up at your apartment tomorrow?
I would be scared. I'd be like, what the fuck? Especially, so like, just to reframe, or I guess just to restate the sequence of events. His phone automatically dials her phone number, right?
Yep.
It goes to voicemail. Does he leave any sort of message, or does he hang up before it can happen?
He does leave a message, yes.
Okay.
Because that's when he's like, it's been like 15 years.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of freaked out right now.
Yeah. So then the very next day shows up at his work. Yeah.
On Christmas Eve.
Oh my God. Which she likely is busy. no questions asked, shows up, and she is so down to clown with him immediately with zero conversation about it, which I understand that with films and romance, there's often a lot of shorthand with these types of things. But my big issue with her is she exists in this movie solely to please Frank Cross. She exists. Yeah. She has zero agency as a character. Her every beck and whim is centered around Frank Cross. Like, yeah, she's at work, or she's at work in one scene, but it's not like she drops everything to talk to him.
Except the two things she couldn't drop, then he threw her away.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's still like, oh, Lumpy, let me come visit you. I was like, no. Now, if an ex from 15 years ago showed up in your office and was yelling at you to come with her right now, and you were like, fine, let me just send an email, and she was like, no, you need to put yourself first, and then left. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, I'm calling the fucking cops.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is not normal behavior, and it's not sweet either.
No, he's negging her the entire time.
And he was such an asshole to her.
Uh-huh.
Even back then.
The whole time. And, separate from her agency as a character, she has like no defining traits about her. I cannot tell you one thing about her other than she is altruistic. And the only reason I say that is because she works at a homeless shelter, right?
Mm.
Like, she is a walking plot device. It feels like she is so underdeveloped as a character. And frankly, like, so when she visits him at his work, like, they have a conversation and she goes to walk away, right? And he's like the only one who talks to her in that scene, right? And she goes to walk away. He gets distracted for a moment or whatever. And she like literally disappears behind something. And in the moment, I was like, maybe she's a ghost. I genuinely thought that was going to be the twist, that she was part of the whole ghost aspect of this, and she was going to be one of the ghosts or something of that nature. And they would have explained how much of a nothing burger she is. But no, she's real. She exists, and she's just there so that she can be someone for Bill Murray to have as a romantic interest. I genuinely thought she was going to be a ghost like the whole film.
Okay. Because you were talking about this, and I was curious. Does Scrooge pass the Bechdel test? And according to the BechdellTest.com, it does. However, I'm going to call bullshit. Grace talks with her daughters and her mother. Her daughters and mothers are not named characters. And Claire has conversations with the other women in the homeless shelter. Those people don't have names.
My God.
So, yeah, like, she is just a prop. In, like, the, like, most literal, like, theatrical sense, she is just, like, a stand-in.
Yeah, she is a walking plot device. She is... There is a famous term. It would be so much better
if she was a ghost.
Right? It makes so much more sense. It explains so much about her character and how she's written.
Or just a hallucination of him.
Yeah, it explains why she interacts with nothing in any meaningful way.
Or when she disappears.
Yeah, when she straight up disappears. And like Bill Murray's like, where'd she go? She disappeared in front of my very eyes. There is a term, it's, in the age of the internet, it has become more of a well-known narrative term for a narrative device. But it specifically originates from comics and Green Lantern comics. And the term is when someone gets fridged. And CJ, are you familiar with this?
No, I've never heard this before.
So someone getting fridged more or less is when someone is killed off solely to motivate a character. And traditionally, this is when a female character gets killed off to serve as motivation for the male character. The woman has no real agency in the plot other than their death serving as a plot device. And it's, it's just kind of pointing out like latent misogyny in the writing, where the only meaningful thing that the woman can do is die, right? And that's what moves the plot forward. This feels like the same thing except the opposite, in that she doesn't die. She just strictly exists as someone for Bill Murray to she is the goal for him, right? She is a symbol of him changing. Once he changes, he gets the girl. And that's the only thing that she serves as, is someone for him to go and talk to multiple times and be like, are we ready to date yet? Are we ready to date yet? Are we ready to date yet? And it's only once he changes that she's like, yes. And the only thing, and it's not, but at the same time, it's not like she has the agency to even say no, because she wants to date him the whole time. It's almost like she's like, are you a good person so we can date yet? Because I want to date you. No? Okay, I'm just going to stand here and disappear. Are you ready for me to, are you good enough yet for us to date?
If you need me, I'll be in the lobby.
Uh-huh. It's sad. Like, this character is done such an injustice.
All right. I feel like we can rapid fire some of the rest of these.
I'm down.
Okay. Bryce literally has no point to be in the plot. He is there to be fucked by the censor later.
Yep.
Literally.
Yep. And to give a little bit more Bill Murray, he's slipping at work. If he messes up, then it's all gonna fall on Bryce, and Bryce will take his job. It's just to serve like as additional friction, but it is so frictionless in its execution, because it feels like, again, using the shorthand, it feels like
he doesn't even feel like that big of an asshole.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't. Bill Murray seems like much more of an asshole.
Right. And literally, I was able to spot it. The thing we're supposed to dislike about him is that he's from California. And that's supposed to be shorthand he's a West Coast liberal elite, and he's here to take the job. But nothing he does indicates that we should dislike him. In fact, I kind of like the dude, because it never feels like he is trying to steal like the job from Bill Murray. It feels like he's supportive of Bill Murray the whole time. It feels like he's like,
remember when he's in the elevator and it's like, hey, stop scaring Frank.
Yeah. He defends him and he sticks up for him and he covers for him. He covers for him constantly. Where like at one point, from an outsider perspective, Frank Cross is clearly having a mental health crisis. He's having some sort of episode. And Bryce is like, hey man, I got this. Like you go do this. Like whatever you're taking care of, I got this under wraps. And it's not like he's then turning around like, all right, everyone, I'm the director. He's like, all right, everyone, Frank's doing something, but we are doing this together. Let's do this for Frank. But we're supposed to hate this dude.
Yeah.
Oh. But, speaking of him going into these, like him from an outsider's perspective having a mental health crisis, whenever he has one of these ghost sequences, what does this look like from an outsider's perspective? Does he just disappear off the face of the earth, or does he go into like a dissociative state or like a fugue state where he's just walking around and like goes and hides in a closet or something and then he wakes up after. What is really going on here? Because time passes while he is in the ghost states, and people are like, where were you, man?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I needed some sort of answer there. I was grasping. But speaking of the ghost sequences, that is the big part of the Christmas Carol. So, CJ, how did you like the 3 ghosts, or I guess 4, the 4 ghost sequences, including our Bob Marley in this?
They are the best parts of the movie. I prefer... My favorite is The Ghost of Christmas Present. I love Carol Kane. A close second is The Past. I like how they did the television. They worked that in with The Ghost of Christmas Future.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the Lou character more than that. So I'll go ahead and give it to them.
He had a really fun gimmick.
He did, yeah.
I'm with you. Past and present, I kind of go back and forth which one I like more in any given moment, just kind of based on what parts I'm remembering. But the ghosts, definitely a highlight of this. And just in general, the practical effects in this I thought were excellent. Definitely the highlight of this. From like the makeup on the Marley figure. I thought it was great. It's 1988, so it's not like they can CGI a character like they would today. They put a dude in this giant ass makeup outfit. Really great. The man on fire in the restaurant, all practical. I loved with the Ghost of Christmas Past, like they time travel in this taxi, and the way that it is represented visually is they drive through just a giant sheet of fog/smoke, and the way the fog like envelops the taxi as it drives into it, I just thought was a really nice effect. Also, like the Ghost of Christmas Future, like you said, like the TV, the something I don't think we mentioned was how the Ghost of Christmas Future, when you open its robe, there are like screaming people inside of its rib cage. Like this thing is straight up a torment skeleton. And I thought that those puppets were really cool. But yeah, just kind of that adding to the ghost sequences, easily the strong part of this movie. Like I would watch a supercut of just the ghosts if I could.
Yeah, no, that would be a preferred supercut.
A question I had about this movie: where does Frank Cross live?
I thought it was New York.
No. Sorry. Where does he physically live? Does he live at his office?
Oh, we never saw him leave.
No, we only like after the humanitarian award, just goes right back to work, sleeps there. Like no home life.
Yeah, has nothing going on.
Which often is a part of the Christmas Carol. The ghosts come to him at night when he's in his sleep at his place, and I think adds partly to the sense of invasion of it all. So I don't know, just a weird detail I noticed. But the weirdest detail isn't that he lives at his office, isn't that Bill Murray plays a 17-year-old. The weirdest detail is this movie's Tiny Tim. So, like CJ had said, this child is selectively mute. And the exact quote is, "He hasn't spoken since he saw his father killed 5 years ago." This kid is no older than 6.
Yeah, they really screwed the pooch on the timing of that, and I really don't know how to reconcile.
No, they could have, like, I'm sure it was a matter of that's what was written in the script. They casted the kid after, they didn't change the line. How hard is it on the day for just anyone on set, any of the actors, even the kid, to be like, I am 5, or even like a PA or a script supervisor to be like, hey, maybe we change it from 5 to 3. Like,
yeah, it's a really good point. Like, I love the idea that he's just like, the square root, the hypotenuse is the, and then it's like, oh shit, dad died. Whoop.
Oh my God. Yeah, that made me lose it. I that line. Also, just speaking of that kid, when so we see at one point where when we visit regular sized Tim and their home life and see their family, we see the kid sitting in front of the TV, and he's sitting there. I'm gonna send you the a quick screenshot of this. He's sitting there staring at the TV, hands crossed, and I can't help but just imagine this kid in his head thinking while he's sitting like this, like, damn, now this is TV.
Now this is TV. This is pod racing.
Like, it's just, I don't know. It's just I've never seen a kid sit like this ever. He is sitting like a 45-year-old man.
Well, it was probably the stage direction of a 45-year-old man.
Probably. Like, what kid, for those, if you're in the Discord, remind us and we'll send the picture in there. We have it saved. But just if you're just listening to this, imagine you're sitting on a bundle of blankets, and it's kind of like a short chair. So you're sitting there and you're not facing the TV. You are sitting legs parallel to the TV screen. You have just your head turned toward the TV. You're sitting just slightly leaned forward, straight posture, and your elbows are on your knees and your hands are clasped together. Your fingers are interlocked. What child have you ever seen sit like that? You are sitting like it's like he's sitting in a meeting in an office and he's just bored sitting there waiting. This
is really affecting you.
It's such weird direction. It just sits with me. It looks like a meme.
Maybe it is.
Maybe. Like, I feel like someone needs to edit out what's on the TV and Photoshop in something wild that this kid is watching.
Some fucking... God, I don't want to see what people would put in there. Explicitly.
Oh, man. Earlier you had mentioned that, we had already talked about how this kind of flip-flop between... Or sorry, you had mentioned how this just goes too harsh at times. Early on, you had mentioned that it isn't just too harsh at times. It kind of goes from too harsh to too mushy.
Yeah.
Was there anything you wanted to kind of harp on specifically with the mushiness?
Like laying it on thick with the kid, which we just talked a lot about the kid. The kid is not a good stand-in for Tiny Tim.
Mm-hmm.
And then you were... I think some of the Claire stuff too doesn't catch me right. It's just like, okay, there's someone this fucking lonely for you, motherfucker, and you haven't been able to put it together for this long. Like the homeless guy scene was a little for me because the whole point of that bit is like, oh, he didn't even know who he was talking to.
Yeah. Yeah, and then he dies. Like it just kind of feels cruel.
Yeah,
manipulative.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, we killed this guy that you just met. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, real quick, I'm still have this still up from the of the kids sitting in front of this. Just a little detail I noticed. I'm gonna send a full picture uncropped. You notice anything funny about the set here?
I'm not picking up on it.
All right, here's a hint. Look at the rightmost side of the screen.
Oh, is the outlet in upside down?
Yeah, the outlet's upside down. And it looks like not just that. The plug, maybe it's the shadow.
Yeah, it looks like the plug is in upside down.
Uh-huh. It looks like not just the outlet is upside down. You would expect then that, it looks like a plug that would have the ground rod, the third prong, but that is still pointed down as if there's also a ground hole on the bottom of that spot. I don't know. Weird. Just weird.
Yeah.
Little detail that's weird that I noticed now.
The most important question, Tommy.
Well, but before we do that question, I do have a lesser important question that we've been doing a lot lately. This was the part two on our duology
Oh,
of
that's right.
films CJ has never seen or heard anything about before. So, of course, we have to ask, how does this movie succeed at being a film you had never seen or heard anything about before compared to Megamind?
I like Megamind better.
Okay.
And it's not really close.
Okay.
So yeah, there you go. That's
one didn't do a better job of you not knowing anything about it.
I guess technically Megamind as well, because I did know that he was gonna bump into Death in the elevator, but I didn't realize that it was not actually Death.
Okay.
Because I saw like 10 minutes of it with the sound off.
Gotcha. Okay. Now we're on to that important question you brought up.
Could
CJ,
I have done it?
Could you have done a Scrooged?
Am I Frank Cross?
Of course.
Oh, hell yeah. I got that.
I think you got this one in the bag.
All I have to do is be tortured.
And for continuity's sake, you did say that you could also do the Muppet Christmas Carol.
That's good. That's real good.
You're consistent.
I'm bad, but I'm consistent. That's right.
Oh, man. Well, CJ, would you like to ask the most important question then?
Is the film okie dokie?
I do feel like we sat here and shit on a lot of this movie just now. I do feel like we made this movie sound a lot worse than it is during our conversation.
100%.
I don't think it is nearly as bad as we just made it sound. I just think we had a lot of nitpicks, a lot of issues with a lot of big issues, or a few big issues, I should say.
Big meaty claws.
Yeah, a few big issues that warranted a lot of discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a lot to like here. Like we said, the ghosts are really good and the ghost sequences are generally really good. And that's a big part of the movie. Ultimately, though, I do think I'm going to have to say, no, I do not think that this film is okie dokie.
Wow, the streak has come to an end.
The streak has unfortunately come to an end. But what do you think, CJ?
I think it's fine. Like,
yeah? Is it fine or is it okie dokie?
Listen, let me finish my thought.
Okay.
I think this movie is fine. I think it's a perfectly fine comedy. I know some people really like it, and a lot of people that have talked to me told me that they really liked it. They were really excited that I was watching this movie for the first time. It is not a Christmas movie that I would pick to watch. So I'm going to go ahead and say it's okie dokie, but you know what? I'm going to say it's not okie dokie.
Whoa. Mid-sentence change of mind?
Yep, lock it in.
Whoa.
I was like on the fence of what if it is okay, it's right on the line for me. Like this one's pretty close.
Do you think this is the most it's ever been on the fence for you?
It was close enough that I went in both, right? So I'm really just like, for me on this one, I had to go with, would I tell somebody to watch this? And I probably wouldn't. But I wouldn't tell someone not to watch it.
Gotcha. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah,
like if you want a Christmas movie, sure, this movie is one of the Christmas movies of all time. It has some bright spots, but it has some parts where it's like, this is a little sour. This doesn't hit the way that you want it to hit. So, all that having been said, I'm going to go with not okie dokie.
All right. Wow. All right. Well, with the streak being cemented not just by a split decision, but by a unanimous noki dokie, why don't we walk on over to the rec room? Wow. Nice tinsel, CJ.
I know. Yeah. Well,
Very seasonal.
Non-flammable.
Nice. Smart. Very smart.
Yeah, you never want to get flammable stuff.
Exactly. Especially because every time we walk in here, I know we've not talked about this before, but I mean, CJ, you know this. Every time we walk in here, I light up a big old stogie and I'm just puffing on it the whole time.
You're chomping on a cigar. I hear you.
Uh-huh.
2 quick recommendations for everybody. I got 2 shows recently on physical media. Were sent to me by a mystery gift giver who never revealed themselves.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a story for another time, but basically, I would like to recommend these 2 shows because I've been watching them again. Have Gun Will Travel. One of my favorite shows of all time. Follows Paladin, who is your classic Western bounty hunter. He is pretty down the middle moral-wise. Like, he has right or wrong. He is not going to ride in, shoot people. Like, he's going to come in and he's a talker. You know, but he has a gun. He will use it. And he's better and faster than you. But we don't want it to come to that. Right? And that's his business card. Is Have Gun Will Travel. And it's a great show. It's that episodic format that I love. And the same show shows the itch that spot on my brain for me. Like Star Trek is another one. The first couple seasons of Mandalorian, I'd say the first season and a half probably of Mandalorian also do that. The story every week, episodic format, and so I like that a lot. The other thing I'm going to recommend is Batman the Animated Series, which I got on Blu-ray.
Nice.
Yeah, and
that's a good one for Blu-ray. Nice.
Yeah, very beautiful, and these animated shows are great, but what people forget is that it's still a cartoon made for kids. So, like, for example, like when you watch a supercut or you watch the highlights, you'll see the part that's like, wow, as an adult, this really speaks to me. Then you go back and watch it, and it's like, oh, you gotta stay in school. Or this is the episode that teaches kids how to share. And it's not like that for Batman, but there's a lot of recycled parts, like music or like very formulaic in the beginning season, where you're just like, all right, I'm gonna slowly walk up on guys and kick their ass. You know, so there's like one like music loop that is in my head in particular that I don't know how to vocalize, but yeah, those are my 2 recommendations for the Christmas episode are Have Gun Will Travel and Batman the Animated Series.
Nice. Something before I hop into mine, you had mentioned that it's a beautiful looking show. I just want to second that. This was a show that I loved growing up, and maybe you're aware of this, CJ, but something in case any of the listeners are unfamiliar or are familiar but don't know too much about how they made it. Something about that, like, this is a show with like a lot of very striking, strong colors, and oftentimes in animation, things are drawn on a white background. But with this show, because it so heavily uses the color black and shadows and darkness, they actually animated this on black instead of white. So pretty cool, just detail about the making of that. But on to my recommendations. You only had 2. I have the most things to recommend I've ever had to recommend, so I'm going to try and fly through these. I've been watching a lot of movies lately. So first one I wanted to recommend was Midsummer. Rewatched this with Jade recently. Saw it in theaters when it first came out. I really liked it then, but I've just really grown to love it over the years. This is probably my 4th or 5th time watching it. Really great movie. I mean, it's fucked up. It makes you feel like you swallowed a rock, but it is also incredibly cathartic. It is chilling. It is unnerving. But it also takes place almost entirely in daylight. So really good movie about, I guess it's about this girl where she suffers a familial tragedy while also being in a relationship that's on the rocks, and ultimately ends up going to Sweden with her boyfriend and his friend group. And they go to a midsummer festival, and crazy shit happens. I'll just leave it at that.
Yes.
The next thing I wanted to recommend is actually a double feature. It's 2 movies, but I wanted to recommend them as a double feature. So it snowed a shit ton in Chicago this past weekend.
Kill Bill!
No. It snowed a shit ton. We got 8 inches of snow in a day, and we just, we had to cancel a bunch of plans, but we just stayed inside. And we watched maybe one of the best stuck inside during a snowstorm movies of all time, The Shining, which I don't know what I really can say about this that hasn't been said before. It's just straight up one of the best movies ever made. But what made this viewing experience unique is we did it as a double feature with Dr. Sleep, which I saw in theaters when it first came out, and this was my first time rewatching it. And if you're unfamiliar, Dr. Sleep is a novel that Stephen King wrote in like the 2010s, late 2010s, as a sequel, maybe early 2010s in general, as a sequel to The Shining. And it follows Danny Torrance's story way down the road. And the movie works as both a sequel to the Shining movie and also an adaptation of the book, which, and sequel to the Shining book, which very famously the Shining book and movie are very different. And Dr. Sleep, I think it's about as good of a sequel as you can make to a masterpiece like The Shining. It's really good. It's directed by Mike Flanagan. And if you've not checked it out, I'd say check it out. Not enough people have watched it, I think. I do really love it as a double feature with The Shining, but really good on its own. Next movie I wanted to recommend that I had never seen, I watched Run, Lola, Run, which is it is a German film. Feels like an Edgar Wright movie, and it is really short. It's under 90 minutes, I want to say, and it is about this girl, this woman, Lola, who gets a call from her boyfriend, and he's like, more or less, he's like, hey, we need to find $100,000 in the next 20 minutes. And it is, I don't want to spoil too much about like the premise of this, because there is kind of a hook to this film in its structure that I don't want to spoil, but really fun, frenetic movie of this woman running all around town, doing crazy shit. It has a lot of themes to do with fate and how much of it we can control, and the butterfly effect. So really fun movie. If you like Edgar Wright, definitely feel as though he was inspired by this. So check that out. Next movie I wanted to recommend, this is the penultimate thing I'm recommending, is a film called Sorcerer. This is a William Friedkin film from, I want to say, 77 or 78. It stars Roy Scheider. It's about 4 dudes who we know their background. We learned their background early. They all end up in South America through various means, all kind of in hiding for various reasons. And they take a job to transport several crates of dynamite that are leaking, that are just leaking and will explode at a tiny bump, transport it 200 miles in 2 trucks through the jungle. It is one of the most gorgeous films I have ever seen. It is an incredible thriller, and it has one of the best set pieces of all time that they filmed practically. Really great movie. Check it out, especially if you love cinematography. Yeah, good movie. And then the last thing I wanted to recommend, and this I think might be the big wreck, is a movie called The Worst Person in the World. Jade and I watched this recently, absolutely blown away. It is a Norwegian film directed by Joachim Trier. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. He is the director of Sentimental Value, which is a frontrunner for the Oscars this year, particularly for Best International Film. And this is a movie that, the title kind of explains it. It covers a 4-year span in this woman's life where she is just kind of rudderless, and she makes a lot of bad decisions. But this is a movie that has so much going on thematically, so much going on emotionally, so well written. It is messy. It is complicated, just like life often is. It tackles themes of love, life, death, motherhood, womanhood, and so many other things. Really, really terrific. If you love international films, films in a different language, and you want to watch something that, is just really heavy but really great, please check out The Worst Person in the World. But that's the end of my rapid fire 5 or 6 movie recommendations.
That was a lot.
It was a lot. It was a lot. And I hoping that I don't have that many again anytime soon. But hey, I'm in a big movie mood lately. I'm watching a lot. But
yeah.
CJ, would you like to find out what we are watching next time on The Film is Okie Dokie?
I am so ready for it. Let me hear it.
So, this movie, Scrooged, they had this big ol' expensive live production of Scrooged, right? Just off the rails, huge sets, tons of actors. Crazy, right? So, CJ, I'm not sure if you knew this, but this was actually part 1 in a duology.
Oh, do tell.
So this was part 1 in our duology of things hardly being profitable. Because next time on The Film is Okie Dokie, we are watching Game Night.
Game Night.
Game Night.
And this isn't the that weird movie where Will Ferrell and Tina Fey have a casino in their house.
No, this is not that movie where Will Ferrell and Tina Fey have a casino in their house.
What is that movie called?
That's a good question. I don't know. Will Ferrell Casino, The House.
Oh.
Oh my God. CJ, it's not Tina Fey, it's Amy Poehler.
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck.
Oh, that's funny. Very funny. So yeah, next time on The Film is Okie Dokie, we are watching Game Night. Other than that, join our Discord server, recommend the shows to friends, download it on their phone. CJ, what's that thing you always say?
If you like the podcast, remember to rate us, review us, give us 5 stars. If you only give us 4 stars, I'm inclined to believe that you are a hater. Shout out to Bomani Jones at Wave Sports and Entertainment for the quip. Remember to tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your neighbors' kids. They have tiny hands and they have a hard time working the buttons. And also take it right out of their hands and just download the podcast right to their phones. That's it. It's that simple. Available wherever you get your favorite podcasts. And check us out on YouTube. And I think I covered everything that time.
Yes, you did.
All right.
I think this is like the second or third time now you said the tiny buttons thing. I like that one.
I used to always say that on Speedrun Insider. So throw back to that old podcast.
Nice.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening and enjoying the holiday episode of The Film is Okie Dokie. We'll be back next time with Game Night. And as always, I have been CJ.
I've been Tommy.
And have a happy holiday, a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, and a Happy Kwanzaa if you celebrate, and a Happy New Year. We will see you again in 2026.
Bye.